Okay. So, welcome to the eighth day of our class. Today's topic would be evaluation systems. அதில் வந்து elements and types of evaluation. Also, we will be seeing CBCS, that is choice-based credit system in higher education. So, moving on. First, what is evaluation? Evaluation in அப்படின்னா நம்ம என்ன எதுக்காக evaluate பண்ணணும்? Why should we do evaluation? So, here, evaluation is a process that refers to a systematic and structured approach because when we are processing a content or when we are learning content, we have to self-evaluate. Evaluating, testing, or more like analyzing what we know, what our plus and minus. The best example we can say it as SWOT, that the SWOT analysis, no, strength, weakness, opportunities, threats. So that analysis is the best example for the basic level of evaluation in anything. So here it is a systematic and structured approach used to assess and measure the effectiveness, quality, or the performance of a particular project. So that's what they are saying here. So why should we do? That is the purpose of evaluation means we want to gather the evidence on how we are doing it, or evaluation not only restricts with the individual learning process but also when we are doing a project இல்ல சமைக்கும் போது காமனா we expect the feedback. So such feedback we need to gather evidence and analyze the data how it is being done. So that thing is being done here, then make informed judgments, decisions are based on the findings. So we have to make variety of judgments and decisions based on the findings. So here they have given evaluation is the process of judging what students have learned. நம்ம இதுதான் காமனா, since we are focusing solely on the teaching and that relates with the student, we are mainly defining whatever that is related to the students as well as the teacher. So evaluation is the process of judging what students have learned from the entire teaching learning process. இதுக்கு ரெண்டு definition இருக்கு. They have given two definitions. UGC, University Grants Commission, have defined evaluation as evaluation is the process of determining based on evidence and interpretations gathered through examination and assessment and on the basis of agreed upon criteria. இதுல பாத்தீங்கன்னா first it is a process of determining. So how they are determining? They are determining it based on the evidence and interpretations. So how do we get this evidence and interpretations? We are gathering those things through the examination and the other assessment process. One thing, this is one whole thing, and the other thing is already agreed upon criteria. So நம்ம இப்போ ஒரு கோர்ஸ் ஜாயின் பண்ணணும் போது we need a age, we have a age restriction. Not anyone can join course at any time. So இப்பவே ஸ்கூல்ல வந்து nowadays while joining the kids in the kindergarten, people are asking about the age so that they are asking the kids to join in at a somewhat upper age, like if we are going for fourth of age, they are asking us to join in 5 or 6 of that kids age, so that when they are reaching the 10th or 12th class they can appear for the board exam without any disturbances. So that is the agreed upon criteria. Now for attending UGC-NET, you have to have a PG degree in whatever subject you are writing the exam. So that is the agreed upon criteria. So likewise, there are certain whenever a process is being done, there would be already preset agreed upon criteria would be there. So such things and as well as the examination, these two are combined for the determining the process. So next, Tuckman. According to Tuckman, what he says is evaluation is a process wherein the parts, process or outcomes of the program are examined to see whether they are satisfactory. So on a very particular with reference to the program stated objectives. நம்ம வந்து I think everybody would know. Still I'm talking about our Alagappa University fellows. During our NAC visit, we did some syllabus changes and whatever thing, no. So there we noted that program outcomes, program specific outcomes, program objectives, program specific objectives, as well as course objectives. So those objectives have already been set while starting the class itself. Now the evaluation should be done either in parts or the whole process, where whether all those objectives are reached to a satisfactory level, then only they are testing that whether it has reached or not to the satisfactory level. That the process is known as evaluation. So next, moving on, characteristics of evaluation. So what are all the characteristics? We can know that evaluation is a continuous process. நம்ம வந்து ஒரு நாள் நல்லா சமைக்கிறோம், அடுத்த நாள் அதே மாதிரி இருக்கும்னு அர்த்தம் கிடையாது. ஸோ we are doing certain things like cooking or jogging. So we are regularly testing ourselves, regularly evaluating our outcomes or outputs, whatever we have planned to receive them. So those things could be said as evaluation is a continuous process. Next, it is comprehensive and includes everything. So in exam point of view, ஒரு annual exam இருக்கு or the end semester exam, if the student qualifies that exam, then he or she could be considered as the person has covered all the relevant knowledge about the subject in that particular semester. So we can assume that. So if not assume, we can just you can consider it is done. So that is how it is comprehending everything about that subject of testing. So evaluation is a comprehensive process. So also it is learner centered. ஏன்னா இப்ப நம்ம வந்து mostly we are doing evaluation based on the students only or the learner. We are not evaluating the teachers. So when a learner is capable or qualified to clear the exam, then he can proceed. Or else what is lacking there, that person has to remedy whatever is lacking. He or she has to make a remedy of it. Then they have to approach it. So likewise, it follows the remedial approach. Whether there is a drawback, they can make a remedy. Next, due to this approach, remedial approach and learner centered method, it can helps to frame effective teaching methods. Like இப்ப நம்ம குரூப்ல போட்ட போலிங்ஸ் மாதிரி தான். So previously, while I was scheduling the class schedules, I didn't put any class for the today's date. But since I feel like I could take class, I opted for the opinions of you guys. Most of you have chosen to attend the, we can have the class today, like that you said. So I planned for the class today. Likewise, in the upcoming class, from only one more hour for is there for unit 1. So after that, instead of going to unit 2, you guys have requested or suggested we can jumble the process. One is theoretical, one is numerical. So we are going to proceed in that manner. So based on your evaluation or your suggestions, here I am framing effective teaching method so that my teaching content can be reached by you in a very good manner and effective manner. So it is a cooperative process where the teacher and learner both participate equally. Like I said, I alone does not prepare any schedule, or I alone don't force anything. Likewise, you alone cannot do anything. So here, me as a content teacher, you as a content learner or listener, we both are participating and participating equally and process the learning process. Last is, it is concerned with the total personality of the students. So இது நம்ம குரூப்புக்கு பொருந்தலனாலும், if even though this statement doesn't much apply to our group, here the personality of the students they are suggesting, they are referring is that each student has some different kind of learning approach or mental approach, whatever thing. So the evaluation process should focus on the complete structure or characteristics of the particular student. So it acts as a whole manner. In our class, I think in our right now in our first year there is a physically with person with disabilities. So physically challenged child is there. She we are providing or maybe she requested as well as we are providing a 2 hour exam. We are allowing her to write in the 3 hours or 3.5 hours so that she doesn't feel being omitted because she cannot uh, perform or write the exam as effective as other students in the same time frame. So we are considering all the personalities of the all students. So these are all the characteristics of evaluation. Next, elements of evaluation. இது நல்லா பாத்துங்க மொத்தமே 5 தான். All in a total we are having only 5. First is audience. Second is purpose, questions, scope and resources. Audience. Audience here means whoever the person we are evaluating, that person is the audience. So when most of the time students are the audience for evaluation. Next, purpose. Why should we evaluate? So the reason we want to evaluate a student, because class in school days we might note that there will be certain test in the class or they will be doing some projects, whatever thing. So the reason the evaluation should be conducted should be one of the element. Next, questions. So in an evaluation, what is the questioning process? எப்படி question இருக்கும்? So like is it இன்னும் ரொம்ப simpler formல சொல்லணும்னா is it is fill in the blanks, MCQs or descriptive thing or essay type questions, that is which on which mode you are planning to evaluate the student, that can also said. And another one thing, on what basis you are going to evaluate, either online or offline. So those things. Here questions means mostly what format, either filling blanks or MCQs. So likewise. Next, scope. Scope here means evaluation can be done in many ways, in many aspects. So what reason or what type of subject you are going to evaluate, or what content. If we guys we are having CIA 1, that is class internal assessment 1 and class internal assessment 2. So for the CIA 1 we would be having 2 units or 2.5 units, 62 units or 2.5 units. For the next CIA 2 we would be having the remaining whatever left out in the first CIA 1, we will be having that. So here I am evaluating the students for the subject of CIA 1 in the first 2 units. I am not going to focus on the other remaining units. There I want to evaluate and analyze how they are performing or how they have grasped the knowledge there. Then similarly for the second CIA 2, I am planning to evaluate the remaining units. I won't be focusing on the previous units. So here scope, which part I am going to evaluate, that is the scope here. Next, resources. This is what I previously said in the questions itself. So how we are going to evaluate? For CAA we are printing out the questions and students are asked to write the answers in the any one notebook. They have to put each notebook for a subject, so there they have to write their answers. And when it comes to final semester exam, similarly question papers would be given, but answer script also would be given in a pinned form or a stitched form. So a booklet would be given for the students to write. Coming back to us, for net exam, how we are presenting that? We are either given two options, online or offline. Where offline we would be given OMR sheets, we have to share the answer and then we have to submit the answer script. And in the online process we would be asked questions or evaluated in the system form, where the questions would be put down in the computer. We will be answering the questions. So what resources we are using to evaluate, that is also one of the elements of evaluation. So these are the 5 elements of evaluation. Next, process of evaluation. Process means how it is being done. for any evaluation, these four things are the basic requirement or the process that would be involving. First, any evaluation, they have to be set objectives. So objectives should be set why it is to be done, or what through this evaluation what they are going to trying to achieve. Next, development and use of measuring instruments. So like I said, if I am going to post a Google question in our group, I can post in two manners. One is I can post a question where you guys answer, so that in the completion of everyone's answer, I can reveal the answers to you, whatever the questions being asked. Or else, there is an option in Google Form where once you click the submit button, you will get the correct answer as well as your evaluation marks, whatever you have answered correctly at the same time itself. So how I am using the measuring instruments, also how I am developing. Am I going to use a Google form, or similarly in WhatsApp I am going to use any polling method. However, I am saying, so that is development and use of measuring instruments. Next is, here exam process is over. So next comes the interpretation of data. I have evaluated your results. So from that, how I am going to gather the data that is necessary for me to improve my teaching as well as your learning process. So interpretation of data. In Google Form, I think I have not used much different quizzical websites, but in Google Form, if I am going to present you a Google form in our group, I can analyze the data either by individual wise. I can individual, for example, I am going to take a Bigna ma'am or a Vasanti ma'am. So I can calculate the data for each individual. No, I don't want that. I want another method. For that, I can calculate the responses by question wise. So I have two different options in Google Form. Through that, I can interpret a data either graphical form or whatever. I hope you guys have used Google Form, so I think you know that. Next, last is results and feedback. Through this, I have obtained the relevant required results, and there would be certain feedbacks. So obviously, I'm going to ask about how it is going to be done, everything. So based on this results and feedback, I have to change or improve or update my subject area itself, or the syllabi to be taught. I want to improve. So that is the main process of evaluation. Without this, nothing could be done. So once I primarily, either the teaching process would change. The method I am employing to teach the subject would change based on the result and feedback. Or if I feel that the content being taught is outdated, I want to update the content, I have to change the syllabus itself. So that is the whole process of evaluation. So moving on to next slide. Types of evaluation. So here, please note that the evaluation process is categorized based on function as well as based on reference or interpretation. So based on function, this one we have seen in the previous classes. I think you might remember formative and summative. Other things you won't remember. Still, I hope you guys remember the formative and summative type of evaluation. Where in the first starting class itself, we have taught about teacher centric method, learner centric method. There it came. So next is based on reference, norm reference or criterion interpretation. We will be seeing in upcoming slides. So first one, placement evaluation. So placement evaluation அப்படின்னா என்ன? Placementனா here we cannot directly take it as a job placement. So here please note that in the second point, entrance exams are conducted for this purpose. So whenever I myself running a CAD and animation center, here if a student is willing to join my class, I would evaluate that student on my own terms, so that I have to plan whether he or she has the relevant knowledge and how I should teach. Because the same course I am teaching AutoCAD. So for the same course, I had a student that he said that, sir, I know everything about AutoCAD. I don't want to teach you. I don't want you to teach me, but for the necessity of the certificate, I am joining here. So you don't stress out. Just give me some refresh up course. That's all. So for that reason, I need not put much work into that guy. So I just whatever the contents or the commands in the AutoCAD, I just sprinkled like I have taught him. So he finished the course that for that duration. He got the certificate and moved on. And for that reason, I have to reduce the fees for that student. But I had another student who doesn't even have any basic knowledge of what is designing, not just AutoCAD. He doesn't even have any basic knowledge for designing. So I have to import whatever things required for designing and using AutoCAD. So that took me almost 2 to 3 months, a complete 2 to 3 months for teaching that guy. So I have to charge him more. Likewise, the placement type of evaluation is being done so that we can identify the students or the learner of their previous knowledge about the subject we are going to taught, so that we can plan the lesson plans and place in a certain group. So இப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, when I was in a higher schooling, from 10th to 11th, for the 11th and 12th, I joined another school. So in the 11th, when I was joining that school, they have segregated all the students joined there based upon their 10th marks. So I got around 375 in my 10th for 500. So there, because of that, they have placed me in the for example, A5, A6, A7. I was in A7 section. A5 is the topper who got 480, 490, and all those things above. Next, A6 somewhat mixed because it is a second languages. Instead of Tamil, they can opt for other language. So I was in the other category. Again, in the upcoming first midterm exam, based on that mark, they have reshuffled and I scored more marks in that exam. So I moved on to A5 section. Likewise, these type of evaluation is for to determine the required skills for that students. So that's how we are going to do that. Just a minute. So எல்லாருக்கும் slide தெரியுதா? There was a issue with network. So எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியுதா? Guys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. If there is any discrepancies, please tell me. Okay. So second thing is, it is done at the beginning of the course. So teacher can start a discussion, keeping in view the knowledge base of the student. Like I said, we have to analyze the நம்ம வந்து இப்ப we are we have come across many type of entrance exams for entering any course. In even in Aragappa University, every year they are conducting an entrance exam for PhD as well as a PG course to for the students to join the course. So it determines whether the candidate has the caliber to handle the course or not. So if we are not qualified in the entrance, we should take the entrance exam in the next session, so that we cannot join in the current period of the study. So entrance exams are the prime examples are conducted for this type of evaluation. Next is formative evaluation. So this is teaching teacher based teacher centered teaching process. So we have seen in the, I think, first or second class. So this type of evaluation is done during the teaching learning process. So its focus is on the process. So every time, even now, I can say that my way of asking opinion to you guys can also be said as similar to formative evaluation, because during the process itself, I am asking you guys on how fast the pace could be determined, as well as the content or the way of things to be included. Everything I am asking you guys in that is also a form of evaluation, so that you are giving me the feedback. So I am refining my process because of that. So this evaluation provides the student with the feedback regarding his or own performance while learning the process in continuance. So நம்ம internal exam வைக்கிறது normal any inner test. So in colleges now I think nowadays we are not doing, but in schools we will be having sudden tests, class test, 1 hour test, half an hour test. We will be having everything. So here it focuses on the process, not on the outcome. So since they are doing it in the midst of the teaching process, the total thing is being focused on the process, not on the outcome. So here teacher plays the role of a coach. நம்ம இப்போ exam end of the session we are providing questions. So I am saying that I will be giving a very lesser minute to you guys, so that you can you have to answer the question within the stipulated time I am giving. So likewise, because of that I am being a coach here instead of a complete trainer or teacher. I am a coach here. So it identifies specific errors that needs to be corrected. So while answering the questions, I have received a very different number of feedbacks in a variety of options. Some said that I know the question, I know the answer, still knowingly or unknowingly I am answered the question wrongly. And for some others, I don't have enough time to answer the question in the stipulated time, so I need more time to process the answer. To someone, the urgency makes me exam stressed, so that I cannot answer. So these are the feedbacks I received from you guys during this previous classes. So I am identifying specific errors that related to you guys, so that I have to plan in the future and provide you a necessary training or proper approach to be correcting that errors. So this is done on a continuous basis. Of course it is used in the improvement of the course. So this is the formative evaluation. Next comes diagnostic evaluation. So please note that here the first four are let me tell you, there are totally five in the thing. So first one is uh, done before the starting of the teaching learning process. And formative and diagnostic, this third one, these two are done during the teaching learning process. And the last two, summative as well as prognostic, these two are done after the teaching learning process. So here itself it is again being subcategorized. I have not mentioned in the slide, but please note that first one is before the process, second and third is during the process, and fourth and fifth is after the process. So here diagnostic evaluation. So இங்க பக்கத்துல வந்து I have put an image here. So you might find that this is the stethoscope image. Why? Because we are diagnosing. So what is the duty of any doctor or a nurse? So they will be using stethoscope or other instruments. They will be analyzing our diagnosing our health issues, so that they can provide sufficient or necessary medications to improve our health. Similarly, diagnostic evaluation aims towards providing the reason or the explanation for the related problem. இப்ப பாத்தீங்கன்னா I can simply say formative evaluation is done by the teacher to all the students during the process, but diagnostic evaluation is done by the teacher to the specific students in each different manner. Here the diagnostic evaluation either may or may not vary to each student, but the final approach definitely varies with each of the student. Because where in teaching a class one can understand English fluently, and one can write down whatever being taught efficiently, others cannot do that. So the teacher has to pinpoint and identify the student having the difficulty in doing anything. He or the teacher has to identify whatever the problem relates with the student. Some would be having health issues, some would be having, like we said that girl, she's a physically challenged child. So some would be having economical issues and familial problems. So all these things should be considered evaluated, and the teacher has to provide the necessary solution. If not the complete solution, the teacher has to provide at least a viable solution for effective learning of the student. So here these are more comprehensive and detailed. It focuses on the causes of the problem in learning. நம்ம ஏற்கனவே சொன்ன மாதிரி ஸ்கூலுக்கு கிளாஸுக்கு ஏன் லேட்டா வர சார், பிரேக்ஃபாஸ்ட் இஷ்யூ, பஸ் இஷ்யூ, டிராவல் இஷ்யூ, ஃபேமிலி ப்ராப்ளம், ஃபீஸ் ப்ராப்ளம், எக்கனாமிக்கல் ப்ராப்ளம், everything they can be said here. So these are comprehensive. It finds the reason behind the problem and provides suggestive measures to cure them. So this is the diagnostic evaluation. So previously in formative evaluation it is done as a whole, here it is done individually. Next, summative evaluation. இதுதான் வந்து ஃபைனல் எக்ஸாம். நம்ம ஆனுவல் எக்ஸாம், we are going for annual exam or end semester exam, that is the summative. We are summing up, or we are collecting up whatever knowledge we have gathered throughout the session. For our class it is 60 hours, for a semester it is 4 months. So in the period of whole that teaching process and learning process, the teacher is evaluating the student as a whole for their uh, effectiveness in learning the subject. So it is conducted at the end of the program, end of the course or program. So focus is on the end result. So here only it helps to determine whether the objective, that is course objective or program objective, has been achieved or not. So it is also known as external evaluation, because நம்ம இப்போ ஆனுவல் எக்ஸாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, even if semester also, for a CIA and other class test, the teacher itself, the teacher himself or herself would take the questions to evaluate the students. But for the semester exams, the questions would be received from other subject experts outside the institution. So it can be attributed as external evaluation. So it focuses on outcomes and ultimate results. So it includes term papers, projects, reports. So these everything. So here they have given half yearly also, that is semester wise, or else the whole annual exam. So this is based on pass or fail criteria. If you are failing in that, so you have failed in the whole 4 months. Next is prognostic evaluation. So this evaluation, when I was going through certain websites, most of the websites doesn't have this thing, prognostic evaluation. Only one website had this, so I thought that I would include in this. So prognostic evaluation, why it is done means, simple சொல்லணும்னா, so once let's take the annual exam itself or end semester itself. Based on the result, we can personally imagine or judge the student on how the student would reach in the future. Their trajectory of career growth we can analyze, we can evaluate. So here please note that in the first point, this evaluation aims at the estimation and prediction of the future career. நம்ம நடக்கணும். So commonly we are not doing or we are not evaluating and reporting it, so we don't have any formative or any concrete data. So this for this kind of evaluation, இப்போ நம்ம பாத்தீங்கன்னா we do have entrance exam. So whenever we go for any inspection into an institution, if they are having entrance exam, they can provide us the question papers and answer sheets. Similarly, for formative and summative and diagnostic, we do have assignments, CA notes, everything. But for prognostic, we are not writing anything, because for some reason this is considered irrelevant nowadays. Still, we can surely say that every teacher is doing this kind of evaluation through their own means itself, but they don't file any data for this. That's why we are not having anything. இப்போ ஒரு டீச்சர் கிட்ட போய் இவன் எப்படி ஒரு ரேண்டமா ஒரு ஸ்டூடெண்ட் பிக் பண்ணி, if you are asking about the student, the teacher can say whether that particular student can shine or not based on their own evaluation. But these things are only on the verbal terms, they are not in a written or a printed format. So we don't have such data for this evaluation. That's why it is not being mentioned. I think for that reason alone, it is not being mentioned in any kind of evaluation. So it adds up to the dimension of the future growth of the person. So it allows the teacher to predict and foresee the learner's future performance. Because of this, if the student has to the teacher and student has to interact in the upcoming years, they can effectively shape their instruction methods. இது mostly this applies to the school staff and the school students, because for a teacher might go for that student in 6th standard, the same teacher could be handling another subject for the same student in the 7th standard. So he or she has an idea in the about the student in the 6th standard itself. They can plan accordingly for the 7th standard. But this kind of approach mostly cannot be possible in the college. We do have only at the most 3 years. So in the 3 years, though every teacher is repeated there, still we cannot compare this with the school kind of education. For some reason, I have heard about the teachers who have taken from 6th to plus 2, that is almost 6 plus 2, that is 8 years, almost 8 years they could take the subject for the single student. So likewise, this is to evaluate the future performance of the learner. So these are the different types of evaluation based on the function. Now based on the information, that is criterion. So norm referenced evaluation. Norms, what are the norms, rules, what we are setting up? So here please note that it involves comparing a student's performance to that of their same age peers on the same assessment. அதாவது நம்ம ஒரு எக்ஸாம் வைக்கிறோம், we are conducting exam for the at the class level. So we are analyzing, evaluating all the students through the same exam, and we are comparing the students on their own progress. So it provides a relative measure of performance by determining the where a student stands concerning others in the group. Ranking கொடுக்குறோம்ல, first rank, second rank, so all those things. So that one, it is a main. So here for example they have given a student score will indicate how they performed compared to the other students of the same age. So this emphasis on rank or percentile scores. So here the main problem is, though norm reference scores give information about how a student did compared to the other students, but they aren't specific about the student's strengths or weakness in terms of the content. So ஏன்னா நம்ம ஒரு rank வச்சு, like I said, they might have some certain their own issues, so they could not uh, yeah, how perform efficiently in the exam. So this type of evaluation could give a collective method or a collective evaluation of the class, so that it determines the quality of the teacher. But on a large scale, the content or the efficiency of the student could not be measured here. So next, criterion referenced evaluation. So this is the total opposite of the previous one. Here the student performance is based on the mastery of the specific skills or objectives. So let us take our group as example. So we all are writing a exam. Now we are planning for UGC-NET. So each one would get a different mark based on their own mastery level. There we are not comparing each other with ranking or anything, because based on our own mark difference, we are not going to because if you are getting a 170 mark, you will be placed here. We are if you are 168, you will be placed another place. So likewise it is not there. Though JRF content is there, still most of us are planning for the assistant professor. We are not competing with each other, we are competing with our previous self. We want to improve. So here our goal is to improve ourselves and achieve a mastery level and get more marks, so that we can focus on our own career. So our next guy, either he or she fails or passes, that doesn't concern us. So here this UGC-NET for us can be considered as a criterion referenced evaluation. So it focus on the what student knows and doesn't know at the time. Please note that what the student knows and doesn't know at the time of assessment. independent of how other students perform. So இங்க வந்து they have given example about maths, where evaluation of maths, where they can give a formula and how they are uh, applying it to solve the equations. So like I said, in the AutoCAD, when I was learning AutoCAD, I asked my teacher, the person who was teaching me, how for in a job interview for AutoCAD, how they will select the person for the right job or right person for the job. So what he said that in actually we did it in a CAT, another software. There, whatever drawings or a measurement line or circle we are doing there, it will be formed as a tree. That is a design tree. You will say in the software terms, that is known as design tree. So what sir said that for drawing a single type of picture, we have 2 to 3 methods each. So any person can employ any method. The employer who is going to employ you, he will see the design tree. So which person has less number of or shorter design tree, he is efficient for the job. That's how they will select. So here I can solve any problem or I can demonstrate anything, but how efficient is my method with the person next to me other method. So my individuality would be evaluated here. At the end of the day, everyone would have completed the task, but still, who did it best? So likewise, they will be evaluating. That is known as criterion referenced evaluation. So it is determining individual proficiency and identifying areas for improvement. So here, unlike the previous thing, it gives explicit information about the level of achievement and the content, but does not communicate how that student did compared to the others. I may not know. இப்போ நீங்க வந்து as a whole, we are getting scoring some marks in UGC-NET. So how we have prepared, how we have achieved that, I cannot compare myself with others. Why? Because I might not have certain knowledge, because so personally I am not a commerce accounts based student, so I'm not strong with accounts. So another person writing the same exam might be very well efficient in accounting. So he might have scored high marks in that subject area. I might have scored less there. So that is the difference. So I cannot compare with other fellows. So this is the criterion reference evaluation. Next is choice based credit system in higher education. So either actually we are having two kind of methods I think in the syllabus. So first one is choice based credit system. இதுல பாத்தீங்கன்னா choice based credit system CBCS, how what is means, it is the evaluation process where assessment and grading is evaluated student performance to determine their academic progress. So on the academic framework, how they are giving is they are grading the students based on their progress. So how it is done? So the CBS is an educational framework that allows the students to choose from a wide range of elective courses, giving them flexibility and autonomy in their designing their academic path. இது ரொம்ப simple, very simple example I am giving is that, so normal previous way of conventional marking system, like a previous evaluation system or a teaching system, that is school level. In the first standard, second standard, up to till 12th, based upon what group you have chosen in the 12th standard, the subjects being taught to you would be strictly fixed. You cannot choose, you don't have any option to opt for other subjects. So நம்ம வந்து, if you are studying biology group, you have to read maths, mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, that is botany, biozoology. So if you are going for a computer group, maths computer, so you have to read mathematics, physics, chemistry, as well as computer science instead of biology. If you are choosing for pure science, you would be omitting the mathematics and computer, you would be reading only botany, zoology, physics, chemistry. Likewise, these things are predetermined and fixed. So the student or the learner doesn't have any option, he cannot choose, he cannot opt out. So if he is choosing a particular group, he has to learn or read the all the subjects. Now coming to the college area, I hope most of us have completed our degree UGA as well as PG, I think based on CBCS only. So there might be a few who would have learned somewhat in the older system, but the main thing is we did have elective in our third semester or fourth semester of the UG course or a PG course. So what the main purpose of CBCS is, the candidate or the learner would be given a variety of options on what to learn, uh, on how he want to learn, the learner want to learn. So here they will be given the opportunity. So wide range of elective courses would be given, so giving them flexibility, they can choose. I can choose marketing, my fellow scholar or a student could be choose accounting. So likewise, that gives flexibility for the learner as well as autonomy. So which subject I want to learn, how much effort I want to put, that gives my own control over the subject in designing their academic path. Instead of na idella pona, so HR field alone, I have to go. Instead of learning everything, I predetermined I want to go for HR field, or I want to go for marketing field. So that I can choose that subject. Next, the CBCS provides opportunity for the students to choose courses from the prescribed courses comprising core, elective, minor or skill based courses. So it not only provides opportunities but also explores additional avenues of learning beyond the core subjects for holistic development of individual. இப்போ நம்ம elective courses இருக்கும். Now NME we are having in the colleges, non major elective. So that NME is totally different or irrelevant to our core subject. We would be choosing anything, we can choose anything. So that enemy is that we are gathering some extra knowledge that may or may not help our own core subject or course degree. So in this system, courses are evaluated following the grading system. So previously we had conventional mark system where each subject would be evaluated through marks, and that would be either converted to percentage or not. So now we are being graded with the subjects are termed as grading. So we get a collective grading marks. So it is based on uniform grading system in the entire higher education in India. The entire grading system could be called as cumulative grade point averages, CGPA. So அவங்களோட ஸ்டூடெண்டோட பர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் வச்சு these things are calculated. So what are the characteristics of evaluation per CBSE system? So here, flexibility in designing curriculum, that is the students or the learners have the flexibility to design their own path on whatever subject they want to learn. Next, flexibility in assigning credits based on the course content and the hours of teaching. So I hope everyone would have looked upon this syllabus book, where each subject would be categorized as core, elective and the other things, as well as each subject would be given a credit point and duration of hours which should be achieved while teaching. So these things could be calculated when the student number of students or the students option is given. They would be assigning the credit points. Some subject would be having 4 or 3, some would be having 2, even to some extent some subjects do have 1 credit point. So the main aim of this system is that at the end of the degree, the student must have a minimum of certain credit points. That's all. So they could learn any subject. They can also increase their own thing. That is the core process. Still, we do not follow that such method, but that is the core idea of this system. Next, students can take their own courses of their own choice as well as learn at their own pace. So these are the characteristics of evaluation per CBCS system. So types of courses. Actually, in the next slide, I have given whatever the names, but this is how it is being formed. So first one is elective course and foundation course. They are categorizing the courses into elective and foundation. So this elective courses are again categorized as generic electives, discipline centric electives. So இதுல பாத்தீங்கன்னா we can give examples for we MBA students or management like that. We can I said no, marketing or HR, that is also elective, still that comes under discipline only. Which subject here MBA students have chosen that, so that comes under discipline. The NME thing, whatever they are choosing, so that is given as the generic, like more like soft skills. So some would choose for art. Here not just NME alone, the variety of things like the communication and all those things. So they will be planning. The students would be planning here. So it is a interrelated courses from other departments. So here we can, this is said as NME, and இது வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா நம்ம lab, ஒரு சில lab இருக்கு. We do have a soft skill communication, something like that, very minor less courses there that would be chosen. So these are the generic electives, discipline centric electives. So foundation course, this is the core course. Here one part is compulsory, so that part would have no choice. We once we chose that degree, we have to opt for that subject. Next is foundation course like value education with optional choice. So here previously I have said wrongly, sorry for that. So here this can be said as that marketing, HR, accounting or finance, like that. So this is the difference here. Here this is NME. Simpler சொல்லணும்னா நம்மளுக்கு வந்து core subject, the whatever marketing management, OB, and please you calculate whatever subject of your own discipline. So for us in management, the OB, all those things are core subjects. It comes under here. Here these are either HR, the financial derivatives, or whatever subject related to that. Those things are core, as well as that can be taken as choices. These things are NME, and these are totally extra. Now I think ours we do have a certain kind of programs or a thing we are being forced here, but in main areas they can choose for any software based upon their degree. They can choose any software or any skill, so that they can develop based on their own choice. So these are the 5 things simply categorized in the types of courses in CBCS. And the previous chart is simplified here. First one is core, second one is elective, third one is ability enhancement courses. Whatever courses that is helping us to enhance our own ability in the job market, like communication, computer oriented, whatever soft skills, typing, all those things are ability enhancement courses. And what is skill enhancement courses? So skill can be said as, like I said, in the NME part, you are learning some different subject. So that can be said as skill enhancement. So that you may focus it as your own skill development, focus solely on the main thing. And generic elective, this totally doesn't relate with your subject, but you are free with one period, so you are learning something likewise. So these are the 5 types of courses in the CBCS. Next, evaluation under CBCS. So since time is running out, I am going to go fast. So simple. The evaluation under CBCS is either they will be including the sessional, midterm, or end semester exams. So here what they are doing is that whatever marks obtained by the students are converted to grades. First one is SGPA, that is semester grade point average, and second one is CGPA, cumulative grade point average. So this type of grading is known as credit based semester system. That actually it is wrong here. Credit has given 2, so please don't mind. That is credit based semester system. Next, what are all the things of this credit based semester system? First one is absolute and relative grade points, where similar to our own marking system, where the percentage the subject would be given marks, all those things. Maina வந்து cut off based வச்சுக்கோங்க. Here the pass percentage of the subject would be either previously predetermined or relative to the collective number of students qualified to that particular exam. So நம்ம gate go net go, we do have a change in cutoff every time, no. So that is being graded here, that is relative grade points. Next comes letter grades and grade points. So that is our own semester system for we starting from 10 to 0, where O plus and A B C D all those things. So these things are known as letters and grades grade points. Next, what are the advantages and disadvantages of CBCS? So advantages here: more freedom in course selection. The students could choose variety of courses. They do have a freedom to choose that what they want to learn, and personalized learning experience. Here, when we have this kind of option choosing, we can plan our own learning pace in our own manner. So next thing is skills developed. If the person or the learner has chosen a skill based subject, they can develop their own skills. Next, facilitates interdisciplinary education. Since we are choosing NME, most probably we are also gaining the other department subject. So it facilitates interdisciplinary education. Flexible pace and timetable. ஸோ நம்ம வந்து இப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இந்த ஃபைனல் இயர் கைஸ் இன் அவர் institute, whenever we used to call them, they used to say, sir, this hour I am having class, next hour I am not having. So based upon the elective they have chosen, the duration for their own thing would vary, so that they will plan according to that. So here comes flexible pace and timetable. So more chances for career advancement. நம்மளுக்கு பிடிச்ச ஒரு விஷயத்த பண்றோம், if we are doing the thing which we are willing to learn or do, so we do have a better option for the career advancement in the future. So these are the advantages. In disadvantages, confusion in course selection. In the previous class, I think I have not said in the class, but I have discussed with some of you guys. As I said, even being a PG student, nowadays students are struggling to choose what elective that would be suitable for them. So that is the problem here. So confusion in course selection. Some might choose a course because in our first year students, the students chose NME, a marine subject, marine biology, I think marine biology or marine science. So they wanted some different course. Were 5 or 6 people have chosen that course, but the problem is that the course providing place or the department is almost 70 kilometers away from our own department. So the students are not having any worry to go there, but the problem lies that half day, first morning half day only NME class is there, and afternoon and all our own regular core subjects classes starts. So these guys have to travel 70 kilometers for attending that class, then again they have to come back here. So what they wanted is either they could forego the afternoon session, or they have to forego the elective subject. So what they did is they had only one option, they forgone the elective subject, they have changed it to the whichever department is nearer. So that is the problem, confusion in course selection. Next, increased pressure on students. Sometimes due to the department things needs, the students would feel high pressure in learning certain subject, because for certain subject the amount of input work they have to assignments or whatever software something. For example, I don't know if I'm saying correct. So if they are opting for the financial type, they have to learn tally compulsorily. Though tally might be a relevant software, a needed software, still financial people need more than the HR and marketing people. So that the financial students might feel the pressure in learning. So here it increases the pressure on students. Next, problem in time management. பிரச்சனை இருக்கும் time, like I said, the problem with the changing in courses and lack of proper guidance. Here a teacher cannot guide at all times to choose which is right for them, because the student opinion may vary. So that's the problem, lack of proper guidance. Next, quality of education may not be uniform. The one department might perform well, one department might not do it. So there is a quality of education, because as a whole you cannot compare all the students and represent the quality of the institution, because one student might not perform in the NME better, another might be performing better. So there is a difference. And overload of elective courses, when you are given multiple of n number of options, you are struggling to find that. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of. That's all guys for today's session. Yes, Jatin. So all of that, that's all for today's class. These are some bibliography, and that's it. So thanks for attending today amidst your